Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody had a good night. I had mentioned yesterday that I was going to try to do a live every day. I go to my regular, I guess you can call it regular normal job today. I work at a self-storage company, and I work 1.5 days. So I wanted to just put my makeup on real quick and answer a few questions that I had over last night. So the only difference of what I did yesterday is I'm going to do the Stay Matte instead of the serum foundation. Again, like I did yesterday, I prepped my skin with the Calendula set. This is just the balsam set, or the balsam product, but just to kind of show you, yeah, that's just not the greatest lighting. Anyhow, I'll post some pictures later when I'm done with this and link, but I used the face wash, the toner, or the tonic is what it's called, and then also the cream. Hey, Leah. So like I did yesterday, I'm taking off my glasses because I can't see, and I'm going to use the primer first. You don't need very much, just a tiny little dot, and I do my face in 3 different sections. I just kind of do this section first, this section, and then my forehead. And all this primer is going to do is it's a pore minimizer, and it helps set the foundation. We yesterday when I was on live, we had a bird in the background, and so we when I was done with the lives yesterday, I went and my mom came with me and we went and dropped off the bird to this lady. She was so sweet. I don't know why we thought it was a mockingbird. I don't know anything about birds, and so she sent us a cute little video, and she made this formula for it. It was so cute. So she put the little box that we had him in, and she put him next to the window. She had her window open and she put him outside, so that way he can hear all the other birds. It was really cute. So I'll post those so you guys can see it, because I had a few people ask. Okay, so I just put on the pore minimizer. Now I'm putting on the Stay Matte foundation. This is a mineral enriched foundation. It's also pore minimizer, oil free, shine free. This goes on extremely velvety, and you also don't need very much. This number is, I believe it's number 1, and it is, the color is called Porcelain, which they're coming out with a lot of new colors. We actually came out with a darker line for darker skin tones July 1st. So I would think that maybe they would add a few more of the lighter, but maybe because they're always coming out with some new stuff. So yesterday I had also used the sponge, and I'm not a fan of it. So like I always do, I'm just putting it on with my fingers. And if you're coming on now, I can't see you because I'm not wearing my glasses. I know it's kind of redundant, but I just don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my forehead. With this job that I have, not with Farmasi, but working at this storage company, I do go outside quite often, and being in South Carolina, it's very humid. So I don't like to put a lot of product on. I don't like to put a lot of makeup on, because I know I'm going to sweat. But with that said, because the makeup and the skincare line that I use is oil free, it helps with that, and I have noticed a huge difference. Okay, so I'm going to put on the blush, which was number 18, and I use this as a blush, I use it as a highlighter, and then I also use it as my eyeshadow. And so I just barely tap it. I don't even like really get into it because it's very pigmented and I don't need very much. It was funny yesterday when I put on that serum foundation, and I kept saying that I felt like I looked like I was orange, and so I was freaking out because I didn't want to be, you know, that person, you see that girl every now and then who just has like the line and you can see that she's a different color than the rest of her skin. And I was freaking out when we left the house to take the bird, and so my mom took a couple pictures of me and I wasn't orange, but I thought I was, so I guess it's kind of nice to have somebody else's perspective, because I always think the worst of myself, so it's nice to know that. It's not always true. Okay, so I just put on the blush, and I put it on my 3 spots, my nose, my chin, my forehead, obviously used as a blush, and then I just did 2 little swipes of it as eyeshadow. I'm going to put on the Zen, which is a mascara. It is the least expensive one that we have, and I just put it on in black. And I just put on 1 coat. And it's not clumpy. And then the other thing that I do, I'm putting my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing, is I don't wear anything for my, hi Jill, hey Brie. I don't use any gels or creams or pomades or anything like that for my eyebrows. So I just basically, I'm just going to use the brush and brush them. I do pluck them, but that's the extent of it. And my mascara is dry, so I'm going to go ahead and just crimp it real quick. One thing I did notice, my cousin Leah is watching, and I guess I never thought about it, but it makes sense. She always uses the curler and then does the mascara, which I guess would make sense because when I do it backwards, I always get some of the mascara stuck on my curler. But I don't realize that or think about it until after I've done it, and then I'm like, oh man, I wanted to try what Leah did to see if that makes a difference. And that's it, you guys. It's like took me all of like 2 minutes to do. I don't know if you can tell a difference. I can definitely see a difference. My problem area is always around my nose. I do have some hormonal acne. That is just a daily struggle with me. It doesn't matter what I do. But I have noticed that using the Calendula skincare line, and also good quality makeup products, which is what Farmasi has made a huge difference. It doesn't have all the extra junk that the US allows in their products. So I love the color used on your cheeks. Thank you, Jill. So I used, it's just blush, and I use it actually as a highlighter, and then I also use it as eyeshadow. And it's number 18, and it's called Pink Lily. Hopefully you can see that. It's one of the lighter pinks. I like to stay towards this color because I'm so light complected. I don't normally like darker colors. Generally, like in the fall or the winter, I might go a little bit like a darker rosy color. But that's the lightest and the darkest that I go. I like to go as natural as possible. I don't like to have tons of stuff on me. So I'm done with my makeup. So I just wanted to answer a few questions that I had last night. After I did a few lives, I had a few questions through, thank you, Jill. I had a few questions on Instagram, and so I wanted to post that here, as well as I'm going to upload this on my YouTube channel as well. And a few of the questions I had was what makes Farmasi different. To me, that's a small question, but it has so many different answers, because there's a lot about Farmasi that makes it different, and I don't want to overload everybody. So the few top things for me is that they are a company that has European standards. And what that means is that Europe has banned over 1,300 ingredients in cosmetics, whereas the US, or the FDA here, has only banned 11 in cosmetics. So, I mean, just those numbers, because I mentioned yesterday, I love numbers. Those numbers in general are huge. 1,300 ingredients that they do not allow in their any kind of skincare. This, and in this product, in their bars of soap. I mean, 1,300 items not allowed is a huge list, whereas the FDA only has 11. To me, that speaks volumes of how high the standards are, what kind of research they have done as to why they don't allow these different ingredients. So the fact that they're a European standard company is huge, and that was number one for me. The quality is also a complete different because of the standards. You know, they don't allow all these extra ingredients that everybody else does, and so you're going to get a huge difference in the quality. This foundation, for instance. You can buy any matte foundation that's mineral enriched. You can go to any grocery store, any box store, and get something like this. However, because they don't have those standards, you're going to have all these extra ingredients in it that you don't necessarily, that you don't need, and then you shouldn't be putting on your skin. And so, yeah, so just the ingredients itself, but also I've noticed a difference in the quality. I had purchased, before I signed up with Farmasi, I had a few different kinds of matte foundations that I used. They weren't actually matte for me. They didn't say what they actually said on the bottle, whereas with Farmasi, everything that I've noticed as far as their what they say the product will do has been true. They're going to be very transparent with you. And I think because they're not a US based company, they don't have those standards, or I should say lack of standards, that the US has, where, they'll basically say whatever you want to hear to get you to purchase the product. Whereas, they're going to tell you this is not in the product, don't use it this way, this is how it's supposed to be used. So, so the quality is been a huge difference. And when you have a better quality product, it's going to last you longer. You're going to notice a difference, not only with the coverage of how the actual makeup works, but also because Dr. Tuna, who's the one who created Farmasi, because he is the one that created all these things, it also has skincare built into it. And so not only are you going to have the good coverage of the makeup with a good quality, but you're also going to have the skincare that's built into all the different products as well. So, and then the price. The price is ridiculous. So this was $12.90. That was not my cost. My cost was only half of that. So I only paid about $6.50 for this. Because I am a Farmasi influencer, so I only have to pay 50% of what is in the catalogs. So $6.50 is like ridiculously inexpensive. But even if I didn't pay our cost, if I was a customer, I would still pay the $12, $13 for this, because I know that it is a good quality product. I do have a cousin who purchased the product as a customer before she signed up. And I'm very similar in that way. I'm not going to sell you something that I don't agree with, or that I'm not going to promote something that I wouldn't purchase myself, or that I wouldn't feel comfortable having my family use. But with this company, because I saw the quality and my mom was a customer before I was, I just immediately signed up because I knew how much I was going to love the product, and I'm glad that I did. It's been a little over 3 weeks. I have a couple people that I have recruited. So far, they are loving the products that they've gotten. I do have some, because the growth has been huge here in the US, they are still waiting for their products. So once they get them, I know that they're going to be super excited about it. Hey, Mom. And then also living in the different climates. So I live here in South Carolina, and then the friends that I have that signed up live in Colorado. So, and they're also different ages. So I'm excited to see how it works for them. I mentioned also yesterday that my husband's going to sign up at the end of this month, and we were talking about doing lives. And he just kind of like chuckled at that because, well, when you see him, you'll just understand why. We banter all the time. So it's going to be interesting having him in a live with me. But so those were the few questions that I had wanted to answer about why I think Farmasi is a good quality company, what I think makes them different. They are also dermatology tested. There's a lot of items that we have that are gluten-free. For instance, that serum that I used yesterday was gluten-free. This one here, it's a serum foundation, which is a new product that we got as of July 1st. And I got this 2 days ago in the mail. So this item is gluten-free. These bars of soaps that I purchased are also gluten-free. I got the tea tree soap, and then I also got the calendula soap, which is also part of the skincare line. So you could use this on your face as well as not just your body. This is gluten-free. So there's a lot of products that are good, clean products that are gluten-free that I'm able to use because I do have celiac, one of the things that I have. And so I have to read every single ingredient. So for me, ingredients are huge. So when somebody asks what puts you apart, the fact that, again, that they're European standards, 1,300 ingredients that are not allowed, I know what those ingredients are because I have to make sure that I don't ingest those ingredients, whether it be in food or in different cosmetics or even shampoos that I use. I can't have wheat. Wheat is in almost all of the hair care products, just in general, because of keratin. It's a good protein to have in your hair. However, those who, like myself, and my mother, we have celiac, we are very, very, very sensitive to keratin. So we just kind of have to play around with that. But so I just wanted to come on. I know I keep saying that. I do have to go because I do have to go to my other job. And I plan to hopefully come on, probably won't be until Sunday, because I do work all day tomorrow and I'm not a morning person, so I hit the snooze button like a few times before I absolutely have to get out of bed. So I will come back on Sunday. Maybe I can get my mom to come on with me. She also, Linda Suter, she's also a pharmacy rep. And I hope that you guys have a good Friday. Can't believe it's already Friday. This week went by so fast. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching.